This is the Dallas Morning News.
Eat, Drink, DFW from the Dallas Morning News is made possible by Central Market.
Hello, and welcome to Eat, Drink, DFW, the podcast from the Dallas Morning News food team. Each week, we take a look at food and drink trends in North Texas, talk about restaurants in Dallas-Fort Worth, learn some new recipes, and sometimes even get tips from you, our listeners. I'm Anna Butler, the food editor at the Dallas Morning News. We're getting into a new location of a favorite dim sum restaurant here in North Texas. We'll also talk about the foods that were such a hit over Thanksgiving that we're just going to make them again for the holidays. That's all coming up right after this.
Central Market is really into food, like fish flown in so fresh it still has jet lag into food. Our sourdough starter has been around since grunge was a thing into food. We're talking more prime cuts than a greatest hits album into food. Central Market is really into food. If you are too, then we're the HQ for you. Whether you're a make every recipe in the cookbook foodie or a my favorite recipe is reheat type who just digs the delectable, no place makes every day more delicious like Central Market. Really into food. Shop now at centralmarket.com.
For the latest food and restaurant news in Dallas-Fort Worth, visit dallasnews.com/food. Also, we'd love to hear from you, so email us at eatdrink@dallasnews.com. Today, I'm joined by Sarah Blaskovich, Claire Baller, and Imelda Garcia. Claire, you need to tell us about Kirin Court Part 2.
So you guys are probably familiar with Kirin Court, and those of you listening are probably familiar also. This is a spot that's been around for a long time in Richardson, and this is a dim sum restaurant where you sit in this huge dining room and metal carts roll around with different small dishes that you can pick what you want. It's really, really fun.
It's a ball.
So the owner, Michael Chen, just opened a second location in Plano. And this was something that he told me he was never really planning to do, which I thought was interesting. But he had enough people asking him if he could open a restaurant even further north than Richardson because of how many people are moving there. And he said a location opened up that seemed perfect. And so he decided to go for it. He opened up on November 25th. And there was immediately a line out the door, and he was thrilled. It was so cute and sweet. He was so happy about it and said he just felt really encouraged seeing the response already. We wrote about it, and the story did really well, and clearly people were excited to have more dim sum.
I think this is awesome, and I loved reading your story, Claire, because I too just thought Kirin Court was always going to be one of one. Now that said, Richardson and Plano aren't that far apart. I bet there's people in Southlake or Irving or Fort Worth wishing that if there was going to be a second Kirin Court, that it went a little more this way or that way.
I'm sure.
I'll say I'm excited too because I might be able to get a Christmas Day reservation because we love to do dim sum on Christmas Day in my family. We did Kirin Court last year, but man, I was late to the party on getting reservations at Kirin Court or Jingchi this year. And so I'm on 2 wait lists right now for our big family group to get in, but I think I might try to do the Plano location.
It's a good idea to try. It is even just a little bit larger than the Richardson location, but other than that, everything is the same. I think it literally is like a copy and paste of the Richardson location. The only other difference is that it is open an hour later than the Richardson spot.
Claire, would you say is the concept? Is it the food? What makes this place so desirable, you know?
Kirin Court has become really popular because of the fact that it is such a go-to for authentic Chinese cooking. And especially if you love dim sum, if you love getting to pick your food off of carts that roll around the dining room, it's perfect for like experiential dining. And I think that's why it has become so beloved. Also, it opened in 2005 and it has stayed really consistent since then. And that's hard to find.
Kirin Court is also quite affordable. Anna, your entire family could go and eat there, which is, first of all, great that a large group can go. But also, some dishes are $4, $6. So depending on how many plates you take off the cart, it would be easy to eat a price-conscious meal at Kirin Court.
It's also interesting because dim sum restaurants, especially in places like New York, they typically reserve that service for weekends only. And so this is 7 days a week, which is pretty cool too.
So the second location is on Custer Road, just north of President George Bush Turnpike. So you're right, Sarah. It's not all that far from Richardson.
That is like southeast Plano.
Yeah, but clearly there is enough demand that I think they will have no problem filling up 2 locations.
Speaking of another copy and paste restaurant, Sarah.
Yes, Greenville Avenue is having a big time for new restaurants. And Escondido, which is a Tex-Mex place that serves fajitas and margaritas, is opening on Greenville Avenue in the place of the former Bluefish Sushi. Now, that restaurant was there for more than 25 years. It opened in 1998. So a lot of folks who live in that neighborhood knew that restaurant for a long time, but it closed earlier this year, and Escondido will move in and serve the Tex-Mex that people otherwise know from its original location at Preston Royal.
How about Joe Sun, Sarah?
Well, as you're making lists of high-end restaurants to visit, Joe Sun could be on your list. It is a Wagyu omakase tasting menu restaurant in the Dallas Design District, and it just opened days ago. So diners choose either 12 or 18 courses, and many of each of those courses include bites of rich Wagyu beef. So you do have to come hungry, number one. Number two, this is not a vegetarian or a vegan-friendly restaurant, period. You can't just get the vegetables if you want them. Because it's a tasting menu, it is a tasting menu with beef throughout. So know that going in. Also know, dinner costs $250 to $280 per person. That is high for a tasting menu. I believe the price goes down at lunch, and they're going to be open for lunch in the future. But this will be a celebratory place. Joe Sun also has several private dining rooms with, let's say 6 to 10 seats. So you could go for a birthday, or you could go with a group of friends and have your own little room. And then you have 2 chefs there working with you in that room. You can even change the graphics on the wall.
Wow.
It's a fascinating idea, a Korean Wagyu omakase restaurant. And, of all the things we've seen, we don't have this yet.
It seems like they are targeting the business bro dinner.
Yes, absolutely true. And also it feels so current day Michelin, right? Like a restaurant like this in Texas 5 or 10 years ago would seem expensive, and it would seem like a lot of courses. Now you've heard all of us say on this podcast lots of times that the omakase restaurants that serve Japanese food in town, many of them have 18 courses, and we don't quite blink at it. Now, that's often fish, or mostly fish. This is mostly beef. So a little bit of a bigger ask for your stomach, a little bit of a bigger ask for your wallet.
I really want to go through and create some sort of scatter graph of how expensive all the restaurants are in the design district.
It's a great point. Like, what if we could do a heat map of the city and the design district is like orange?
It is ablaze with expensive food. And I know we have other affordable things opening. What this is reminding me of, Sarah, is that John Tizar told you that he is planning a meat omakase restaurant as well.
Yes, and it's been months since I've talked to Tisar about this, but when he uttered those words, I was like, what? Meat omakase, beef omakase, what does it mean? We know that we're using the word omakase just to mean the chef gets to pick what's on the menu, and you sit down and you enjoy it in the order that the chef has chosen. But we're using this Japanese word all over the place now, whether it's at a Korean restaurant or at a beef-centric steakhouse from John Tizar. And again, we don't quite know when or where that one is going to open, but anything can be omakase, apparently.
We have an Indian omakase, right?
We do. Yes, we talked about this recently on this podcast. Joshin is the Indian restaurant in Plano that has a 13-course tasting menu that could be considered omakase.
Yeah.
If you want what's new or next, go to Joshin or Joe Sun.
That's right. Yeah. Or Maman for coffee, or Momini for French food.
And Imelda, you have an update on Dos Mares in Fort Worth.
Yes, they are open now to the public. This is a restaurant that is next to Don Artemio, this Mexican restaurant, and it's from the same owners, chefs Juan Ramon and Rodrigo Cárdenas. But this restaurant, Dos Mares, is very interesting because they are featuring dishes from both coasts of Mexico. Their menu is 32 dishes from Oaxaca and Chiapas and Puerto Vallarta and Tampico from the Pacific coast, or Veracruz or Tampico from the Gulf of Mexico. This is a casual restaurant. It's not elegant like Don Artemio. You can go and drink a cocktail there, or a wine maybe, and enjoy one of their dishes. It's delicious.
I can't wait to go to Dos Mares. I've been excited about it since we heard it was coming, and it tops my list for the next place to eat in Fort Worth.
I've got one more thing to add while we're doing a quick news roundup here. Have you guys seen the show Next Level Chef?
It's one of my favorite new food TV shows of the last 10 years.
Oh,
I think it's so smart.
Yeah, so this is a Gordon Ramsay show where cooks of different backgrounds and different level of experience compete in this like massive 3-tiered set of like 3 different kitchens with 3 different levels of equipment and resources, essentially. Now there is a baking version of this show, and it just aired last night, December 4th, but it's on Hulu today. And we have 2 local bakers who are on this show.
That's great.
It is great. So they are Marixa Trejo of La Casita Bake Shop and Nikki Jackson of Absolutely Edible Cakes and Catering. I called them both up when I realized that they were going to be on this show. And both of them are very experienced in what they do. They've been doing it a long time. And they both told me they were terrified to do this show.
Is it Gordon Ramsay? Is that the terrifying part?
It is Gordon Ramsay. Gordon Ramsay brought the terror for both of them. And they have both been on TV programs before to cook. Marixa's done, I think this is now her 4th show, so she's a bit more versed at it than Nikki, but they were both really terrified to bake for Gordon. And, you know, like most cooking shows, this has a really competitive element and you're up against an insane time clock. You have to grab ingredients off of a table and you have like 30 seconds and you have to just like use what you managed to grab in that time. I asked Marixa if she prepped for it because I, you know, thinking like I would be like practicing this at home.
Yeah, or
be like set
jogging.
a timer. Yeah. And she said, no, she didn't. She was like, I knew I just had to just go for it and just go into it blind. But they both said it was really fun. And they're both a little terrified to watch it back and see because they said so much of it, you just kind of like black out. And on top of that, you have no idea what's going to actually make the cut for the show. So they're pretty much watching it just like everyone else, like having no idea what's going to be on there.
Can't you imagine if you were on one of those shows and you did something really stupid, but that didn't affect the end of that episode? You're probably like, did they cut out my little flub?
Yeah.
Or did they really fixate on, did they put it in slow motion? You know, that would be hard to sleep at night.
I know. Years ago, I was watching some episode of Top Chef and this poor guy, like, you know, he's rushing through and he like didn't take off the sticker on like a vegetable that he was using. And they just like zoomed in slowly as it's swirling around in a blender. Like the sticker. I think about it all the time. I know. So you never know what's going to be on it. Nikki told me that she's thinking she might do kind of a special where some of the things that she made on the show for Gordon, she'll feature at her shop in Rowlett. That's something to keep an eye on for anyone who is a fan of hers and her food and a fan of the show.
Absolutely Edible Cakes is a name that is ringing a bell to me. Is it possible that Keith Lee visited this shop?
That is right. This is one of the spots he went to when he did his DFW tour a few years ago. And he highlighted her spot and her sweet potato thing, which she has become quite known for.
That's how we know her.
That's how we know her. And interesting note, on the show, she is listed as a social media baker, which was interesting to me because
she's a shop owner.
She opened her business a long time ago in Rowlett and has been open since. And I asked her about that and she said, you know, I have never had any formal training, never went to culinary school, never was a pastry chef anywhere other than my own business. And so they kind of popped her in the social media baker category, which I think undercuts her a little bit. I mean, she's had a brick and mortar for a long, long time. But part of that probably is that she kind of blew up after Keith Lee visited her place and she's been kind of slammed since then.
And we have another local tie too. Candace Nelson is one of the judges. She is the founder of Sprinkles, which she no longer owns, but she also is behind Pizzana, which just opened another pizza shop in Preston Hollow this time.
Guys, and speaking about local people and local businesses, I have good news for you. We are hosting a live event about DFW Sabores, this series which I have been working on a whole year, looking for authentic Mexican food in DFW. So we are having this event on December 11. It's going to be in Spanish. And this is an effort from the Dallas Morning News to get closer to the community, you know? So in this panel, we are going to have small businesses, local chefs. We are going to be talking about Mexican food and we are giving away food also. Actually, we are. But the chefs are.
But you can eat.
Yeah, you can eat.
And you can sample things from all of these restaurants you've been writing about, which I'm so excited to meet all of the business owners.
Yeah, we have visited more than 30 businesses and homes and food trucks looking for dishes that have been cooked the traditional way. So this is an event full of family, tradition, love, and food, guys.
Okay, Imelda, how do we go?
The event is going to be on the Vickery Park Library branch on Park Lane, and you can just go, or we have an RSVP form that you can fill. But everybody is welcome. The event is going to be in Spanish, but if we see that we have a lot of English speakers, we are going to be translating. This is going to be on Thursday, December 11 at 6 p.m.
And you can learn even more about this event by visiting dallasnews.com/sabores. We're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we're talking about the dishes we made over Thanksgiving we plan to repeat over the holidays.
Central Market is really into food. Like when we say cheese, it's in 12 languages into food. Butchers, bakers, and sushi roll makers into food. We're talking so obsessive about quality you could shop blindfolded into food. Central Market is really into food. If you are too, then let us turn your shopping list into a treasure map. Get inspired, get adventurous, or just get a chef-made dinner when you've got more taste buds than time. No place makes every meal more amazing like Central Market. Really into food. Shop now at centralmarket.com.
Welcome back. In just a minute, we're talking about our favorite Thanksgiving dishes. But first, we wanted to start out by inviting you to share our podcast with your friends and family. We'd love your help spreading the word about Eat, Drink, DFW. Okay, so we need to catch up about Thanksgiving. Did y'all make or eat anything that was so good that made you think, I'm doing this again for Christmas?
I did. There's a stuffing recipe that I have made for years now that has become beloved and expected by my friends and family, which is good because I really enjoy it myself. It has now been requested by family for Christmas as well. So I made it 4 times this Thanksgiving for 4 different Thanksgiving events.
Oh my gosh.
And I will be making it again at Christmas. And it's a recipe that I started making years ago and I've now riffed on and it's kind of become its own thing. But the original is called the New Classic Stuffing from Bon Appetit. This was like circa 2015. It's kind of impressive that they named it that kind of boldly, right? To call something a new classic.
Especially since you've riffed on it and you've made a newer, yet more classic option.
The new classic, yeah. I will clarify, I call it stuffing. It is not stuffed in the bird. It is a dressing, but I literally never heard anything called dressing before until I moved here in Texas, like as an adult. So it's stuffing in my book and my brain, but it's not actually stuffed in the bird.
And what's in it?
It is made with sourdough and Italian sausage. Sometimes I use sweet, sometimes I use hot, depending on how I feel. And it has fennel, sage, pine nuts, and then the expected things, onion, celery, etc. And it's cooked down in some white wine, dry white wine. It's so good. I don't know why I don't make it outside of Thanksgiving. It just feels wrong. Like I feel like I'm going out on a little bit of a limb, even doing this for my family for the Christmas season as well.
No, I agree. It's like stuffing on Christmas is a revelation, but a risk.
Is. I know. I feel like I'm really like going out there to do it. But I think with a month break, I'll be ready to eat it again for the 5th time this year.
Since you cook it down in dry white wine, does it use the whole bottle or can you drink some?
You definitely drink some.
Great.
Whoa, I love that.
Now I'll make this stuffing. Anna, how about you?
I made sweet potato souffle, which is a lot less fancy than it sounds. It's just more like a zhuzhed up sweet potato side, but the texture is more like a souffle. You beat air into the potatoes before you ever add anything else. So you beat them with a whisk in a KitchenAid mixer. Doesn't have to be KitchenAid, I guess, for a long time. And so you want them to be light as air. It's a little like creaming butter where it's like it needs to hit a certain color before you add other things to it.
Are you steaming them first and then putting them in?
I believe in roasting
Okay.
sweet potatoes for this recipe
Agreed.
because you also caramelize them and you get the extra flavor. My mom makes something similar and swears by the canned sweet potatoes. So to each his own, but I love the caramelization that you get. Like that's not going to happen in the almost 40-minute bake time of this.
Do you do them in like individual ramekins or are you doing it in a large?
You can do either. Sarah actually asked me the exact same question.
Something about souffle to me says individual.
I know. Yeah.
They fluff up better if you do them individually. I did a Pyrex full though, and it still rises very well and it's still light. It does fall and you're going to be eating this typically later. I did not make this a la minute, but it tastes fine heated up.
Are there marshmallows?
I used jumbo marshmallows
There
on
are
half
marshmallows?
of it.
Oh, okay.
And obviously pecans, my very favorite food of all time. I used Jacksonville pecans. I came home from Thanksgiving at my grandmother's house with 10 pounds more of pecans.
Hello.
And they will all be going on more sweet potato souffle for Christmas.
I would love to try that because I know you don't have a sweet tooth and I love that.
Well, and it's like a fresh sweetness too. So I
Yeah.
think you're like me, Imelda, where I love a strawberry or pineapple and that kind of like fresh, natural sweetness, but I don't like added sugar. So this has some added sugar, but it's brown sugar too, which I also think has more of those molassesy, deeper umami notes almost,
Yeah.
but you don't get the sickly punch you in the face sweet that some people's sweet potato. And to each his own. There's no judgment here. You could make this sweeter if you wanted to with the toppings.
Imelda, what did you do for Thanksgiving?
It was very interesting because we made a lot of dishes. It was a multicultural Thanksgiving for us. Obviously, we made tamales because we use all the holidays to make tamales. Yeah. and we made a paella and turkey. So it was like a very strange combination. Yeah, but it was very, very special because we had a lot of options,
What was in your tamales?
We made pork, chicken, and rajas. You know that you take the chiles and you put it there with tomato and cheese, and they are really good. And we made also sweet tamales with pineapple and nuts. That was really good also.
I wanted you to have made a turkey tamale.
Yeah, that would be great, right?
Imelda, do you have tamales left over? It seems like a perfect leftover dish.
Yes, and not only that, we have freeze tamales now for the whole year, I think. Because, when you do tamales, you make a lot of them. So, yeah, we have a lot of tamales. I'm going to bring you some.
I really do want some. Please.
I know. My stomach just started growling. I had a salad for lunch, and my body was like, tamales would have
I know.
been
And with,
a better
with
choice.
this weather, right?
Tamales are one of my favorite leftovers too to use in breakfast. So just doing scrambled eggs with tamales scrambled into them and then a lot of cheese. Oh my God.
Wow, that's a good idea.
How do you work those into the eggs?
You chop them up into chunks. I would say it looks like sushi, which I don't know if that's reasonable. But I do like larger chunks and then I just toss them all together. And then sometimes I even almost do it like chilaquile style and add more salsa into it. I made a ton of salsa over the weekend. So now I'm just going to go buy tamales to make breakfast with them.
Yeah.
Sarah, you did not cook, it sounds like.
Yes, maybe for the first time in my adult life, we didn't cook Thanksgiving dinner this year.
That's huge.
Whoa.
Yes, and my husband and I have hosted Thanksgiving at our home for 20 or 30 people for as long as I can remember. And this year, only 2 people outside of my immediate family were available to come. We just had all kinds of family traveling, and one of my siblings bought a new house out of state and so couldn't fly in. And so we found a Thanksgiving buffet and we cleaned no dishes and have no leftovers. And we sat down and enjoyed a heck of a lot of food that somebody else made. And then we went home.
What kind of buffet?
It was everything you could think of and more. So, the turkey, mashed potatoes, stuffing, sweet potatoes, but also prime rib. There was even a little sushi station. There were tons of desserts, which my daughter tried 5 of them because it was a buffet. So, get whatever you want. This was after she made chocolate chip cookies stuffed with Nutella for breakfast on Thursday.
Wow.
This hilarious thing happened where we pitched to our kids that, instead of doing all this cooking, we're just going to go out and it's going to be so fun and you can wear a fancy dress. And both of them were pretty unimpressed by that idea. I thought it was going to be like this wild, fun new thing that we were just trying for a year. And then I later learned that one of my daughters really wanted to make a Thanksgiving dessert. And so she thought that by going to a restaurant that we couldn't do that. It broke my heart because I thought, well, of course we can still make dessert. You guys are off school for like 9 days. I mean, we're home forever. And so of course we made that dessert and other things, but we managed to otherwise not dirty up the kitchen. And you guys, it was amazing.
Will you do it again?
Yes, this will not be the family tradition because my husband and I both love to cook and we love to host. I even love setting the table and I like all that tradition so much. That said, I don't really care that much for turkey or ham. I just like the ceremony of it. And I found that by letting somebody else cook, we could still enjoy a lot of that ceremony, just not in our home.
Sarah, where did y'all go?
Well, we were a couple hours out of town, so that's not that helpful here. However, Dallas and every major city and small city, they have restaurants that are open on Thanksgiving. And I just want to offer permission to anybody who can't cook or doesn't want to cook that you should consider it because we actually probably spent less money going out to dinner than we would have on so many groceries for a dozen or so items. And that was a revelation too, right? Like a buffet for $60 for the adults.
Wow.
20 or 30 bucks for the kids. Like it's not nothing, but if you add up everything you buy, it might be more than that. The only thing I'm missing, you guys, is if anybody could get me a little Tupperware of green bean casserole or Anna of your sweet potato casserole. I am a leftovers person and most of the people in my family are not. And I just want a little bit of everybody else's.
And we've put together a list of restaurants that are going to be open on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day this year. So if you need to find a place to eat, whether you're celebrating the holidays or not, we got that at dallasnews.com/food. Before we go though, guys, I got everyone a Christmas present and obviously it is food related.
Oh,
Thanks,
tis
Anna.
the season.
Julie's is my favorite one.
Oh.
So it's going to go last. So I'm handing them Christmas ornaments right now. And what I need them to do is guess why I gave them this one.
Great.
Okay, open
Shall we?
it.
I'm worried I'm going to break this.
Julie's is the funniest.
Julie is laughing.
I have a beautiful wheel of Parmigiano
wow.
Reggiano.
I have a dirty martini ornament. Thanks, everybody.
You can tell it's dirty too.
Yeah, it is dirty.
And 3 olives sticking out just like I like.
I have some chiles, people. Whoa. I love them.
And Julie, what does yours say on it?
Mine is a little crock pot that says Croc Star.
The Croc Star really got me. I laughed in the store when I saw it and they were like, is she just crazy?
This is wonderful. Thank you, Anna.
These are perfect and so spot on.
Yeah, thank
Well
you.
done.
Personality ornaments.
Mine's got a little spoon on top too.
Oh, yeah.
To get a good fiance award, I got my significant other a cannoli. He's from Boston.
Nice.
And so we now have a big cannoli on the tree.
One of my friends, when she got engaged, she had trouble converting boyfriend to fiance. And so she kept calling her person she was going to marry her Beyonce. And I just highly recommend it. It's really funny every time. So your Beyonce is a lucky man.
And that's all the time we have for today. We want to hear about what you plan to cook over the holidays. So email us at eatdrink@dallasnews.com. Special thanks to our producer, Julie Fisk. For the news, I'm Anna Butler. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next week.
Eat, Drink, DFW from the Dallas Morning News is made possible by Central Market.